Hello, Rhode Islanders. Richard Barr with Leadsafe Inspections coming to you once more to help you decode Rhode Island's confusing lead regulations and how to get in compliance as cost effectively as possible. Today, we're going to be talking about what happens if you have an environmental lead inspection conducted and unfortunately you weren't quite up to state standard. So in your basic lead safety inspection, there could be two reasons that your property didn't pass. It could be because that there was some sort of a visual lead hazard that was observed, such as damaged paint, a friction surface, inside or outside or in a common area, or it could be from a dust sample result. If the issue was a visually present hazard, then you're going to get a detailed write-up that has a punch list of all the different things that the inspector noted need to be done to get you up to state standard. Important to note, you'll have both not only what the actual hazard was, but actual coaching as to how to fix the issue. As an example, one of the main things you'll see is if you have a door that is what's called binding when it's shut, and you'll have a note that's somewhere similar to access door binding when shut, door needs to be able to open and close freely without rubbing on the frame. What that means is in a doorway such as this one, when you shut the door is dragging along the threshold in this case, meaning that the door is grinding its paint down to a fine dust particle. Now, what the instance of planing the door means is actually shaving down a layer of the door, so that way the extra material that's making it rub on the frame is no longer present. Just make sure that any paint that's damaged, you touch up along the way. Other potential hazards that'll be noted will be something similar to a window casing needs touch-up, walls need touch-up. When you see things that say it needs touch-up, it basically means that there was some damaged paint somewhere on that component, and that area that's damaged just needs to have any flaking paint removed off it, as well as have any of the paint made intact. Another common note you may see involves staircases. Not only in ensuring that the stair treads and the stair risers are made intact with any of the paint that's on them, but if the tread itself is painted, there needs to be some form of a runner installed to make sure that the impact surface of people walking on it is removed. Take, for instance, the staircase behind me. This one has installation of carpet runners that go all the way up the stairs, starting in the center of the tread and covering at least a square foot surface. Other options would be small pieces of carpeting that are just installed in the center of the tread, or getting a vinyl tread like the ones that they sell at any hardware store that has a bull nose covering the edge of it, so that way it's eliminating that impact surface. Okay, the second part, and even if you have a visual hazard, you're going to want to listen to this, is if you have a dust wipe result come back high. We've determined that there's nothing actively causing an issue here, but there is some byproduct left behind, whether it's from a previous renovation or from components being moved, or just gradual degradation of the painted surfaces that over time has created this dust byproduct. So what do we do if we get a dust result that comes back high? Well, with lead, as well as other contaminants, the solution to pollution is dilution. The more times you clean, the more of a contaminant such as lead you get rid of. For our purposes, that means cleaning the problem area that we diagnose from the dust testing and using the right methods to do so to make sure you're not cross-contaminating. Take, for instance, one of your most hot button areas are going to be window sills, such as the one behind me here. If it comes back with a high dust result, it's probably got lead paint somewhere in its history. Well, as long as all the paint is intact on that window, it's not a visual issue. What we're going to do is we're going to take a paper towel or any other kind of disposable cloth, and we're going to spray it down with a wet solution and clean the area. Important that we don't use it in multiple places, because then we're just going to be taking that lead dust and moving it from one place to another place, and you're going to be continuing to cross-contaminate. There's also not a specific detergent you need to use to be able to clean up all the lead dust. Any cleaner that you have around the house will work. However, what we would usually recommend is just using something such as Dawn dish soap. It's got a high viscosity that makes it able to bind to particles really well, dislodge things that are stuck on a surface, remove it very cleanly, and then you can just wipe it away, throw that paper towel away, and you're done. The other area you're going to have the potential for a positive lead dust result is typically going to be in a floor sample. Now, to be clear, if you get a positive dust result from a floor sample, it doesn't necessarily mean that the flooring itself has lead in it. Take this component, for example. It's actually a vinyl material that's covering the floor. But that doesn't mean that, say from an instance of a binding door, or paint chip, something that's tracked in from another area of the house, that lead dust hasn't traveled to that area. So our method here is a little bit more in depth than when we're just wiping down a windowsill, because we don't want to be on our hands and knees wiping down an entire floor. Some people have done that, but you're hurting yourself for no good reason. Instead, we're going to be using a method, what's called the 3-bucket method. In a nutshell, what the 3-bucket method entails is, as the name suggests, having 3 different buckets, one filled with hot water and your cleaning detergent, such as Dawn dish soap like I was referring to earlier, one with nothing in it at all, which is going to be your waste bucket, and one with just lukewarm clean water. And you're going to start the method using a mop, where you dip it into the cleaning solution, clean a small amount of area, wring it out to get all the dirtiness out of it, rinse it in that other bucket of water, wring it out once more, and before you dump it back into your cleaning solution. Important to note, when you're doing the cleaning for any floor surfaces, don't try and cheat and use a Swiffer wet jet. They don't work. The pads on them aren't changed frequently enough to be able to remove all the components that they're pushing around. And while yes, you're applying new solution throughout the floor as you're going along, you're still pushing that dirty pad throughout your whole area. And you're going to be taking one area that's a problem and pushing it wherever you mop it with that Swiffer wet jet. Make sure also not to neglect cleaning your common hallways. They're high traffic areas where people are coming in from the exterior and bringing all the things that are on their feet with them, as well as less likely to be updated as other parts of the house. Here we're going to be applying the same concepts, just cleaning any of the landing with our floor methods and going over any of the stair treads with our spraying and paper towel method. Now, with all that in mind, if you've corrected any of the visual hazards that the inspector noted at your initial inspection, or you cleaned all of the areas that were noted from the failed dust sample, or you did a combination of these things, your property should now be ready to be re-inspected for lead safe status. Then all you need to do is reach back out to us to reschedule for us to come out, and we'll either be clearing those hazards, taking the dust samples, both, whatever is necessary, to get you up to compliance with Rhode Island's lead hazard regulations. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, I'm Richard Barr, coming to you with Leadsafe Inspections. We're looking forward to helping you get in compliance with the regulations and helping you get the lead out.